Perfect. Okay, great. First of all, thank you. Thanks for Cal to you and Mentorability, and for those joining us today for the opportunity to talk a little bit about the YMCA and who we are, kind of what we're about. I'm not sure for the group if how much you do know about the YMCA, if you've been to a Y recently, or if you've been involved, but we're going to give you a little bit of an overview of kind of who we are, what we're about, where we are, and a little bit about opportunities for employment at the Y and for volunteering. So if we just move to the agenda. So we're going to talk about again what about the Y. We're going to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion at the YMCA and what it means to us. Just going to give you a brief overview of our org structure, what it's like to work at the Y and opportunities that we have, including current opportunities. And then, you know, it says questions at the end, but quite honestly, I'm happy to take any questions that we might have. Brief introduction, I'm Brian Gervais. I'm the VP of People and Culture at the YMCA for the city. And I'm joined today by Angela Irving, who's our HR advisor at the YMCA. So we're both thrilled to be here. So again, if there's any questions as we go through it. We're going to show a brief video. It's about 4.5 minutes, who we are. It's a really good visual presentation of all of our locations and our buildings, give you a sense for where we have impact across the city. It's really part of our orientation and onboarding program, but this was a really good introduction to why. And just as a note, the video was done before COVID-19, so you'll see people close together and no masks. That's because it was filmed prior to COVID. So Angela, if you want to run that.
7 health and fitness facilities, 2 outdoor camp locations, and over 60 community outreach locations serve as a place for staff and volunteers to help foster a sense of belonging and help build a healthier, more connected community. As you begin your journey at the YMCA, know that the Y is bigger than the sum of its facilities. We hope you'll better understand how we are making an impact in the community and how you can be part of it. Situated in Calgary's northeast, Saddletown YMCA is located in the Genesis Center, a local hub for a very multicultural community. This YMCA offers a sense of belonging and opportunities for growth, from its language, instruction, and integration program for Canadian newcomers, to the open gym time that keeps local youth active, safe, and engaged. Currently, the largest YMCA in the world, Brookfield Residential YMCA at Seton, provides both recreational and competitive amenities, a Calgary Public Library, and a place for the community to gather. This location includes an extensive competitive lane pool and dive tower, a recreational water park, fully integrated theater, art studios, ice rinks, and like most locations, a child minding center, our short-term care service that gives the parents the opportunity to keep active while the kids are kept safe and cared for. The YMCA has 2 locations in the community of Quarry Park, a community designed to provide its residents a place to live, work, and play. The Remington YMCA's multi-recreational amenities and programming provide the community a place to play and connect. It offers both self-directed opportunities, like splashing around in the pool, and structured ones, such as our free drop-in fitness classes. Also in this community is a standalone childcare center with space for approximately 350 kids. This unique center has beautiful naturally lit spaces and offers the same opportunities as our other childcare centers, including access to YMCA amenities and a play-based curriculum that supports social, physical, and emotional development, school readiness, and a great start to life. Located in the South Health Campus Hospital in Calgary's southeast, this location serves hospital staff, patients, and the surrounding community. You'll find traditional fitness amenities, an outdoor basketball court, and a learning and demonstration kitchen. Unique among Ys in Canada, it specializes in programming for those living with or recovering from medical conditions. Located in the southeast, Shaughnessy YMCA serves a large area and a diverse community. Children, families, older adults, and students from the attached high school can often be seen getting active and engaging with each other at this busy location. At Shaughnessy, as with our other locations, our staff and team of volunteers lead fitness classes and work collaboratively in all areas to help build a healthier, more connected community. Camp River Edge offers campers a unique outdoor experience right in the city. Located in Calgary Southwest, this camp includes forests to explore, wide open spaces to play, and a host of adventure activities to challenge campers and build team skills. This fun camp experience is the perfect setting to unplug, connect with nature, grow, and build friendships. Melcor YMCA at Crowfoot has been a community mainstay for decades. This Northwest location serves a broad community with a large senior population, offering amenities, programs, and services similar to other locations. The Melcor Y responds to the evolving needs of the community, including offering seniors programming, connections, and a place to call home. Camp Chief Hector YMCA is located in Bow Valley Provincial Park, just an hour west of Calgary. This long-standing overnight camp is known as a center of excellence for outdoor education. It provides a rich ecosystem for children and youth to learn and grow through nature and gain independence. This special place helps campers build character, friendships, stories, and memories. Community YMCA is a collection of programming that operates not in one specific building, but out in our communities. It encompasses 4 different programs: Language Instruction for Newcomers to Canada, or LINK, the YMCA Achievement Program, or YMAP, our Indigenous programming, and various programs focusing on youth engagement, including tutoring and community service work. All of these programs help the YMCA integrate more fully into the community and connect with people right where they are. The Shane Holmes YMCA at Rocky Ridge is known for its beautiful architecture, inside and out. This open concept location includes a variety of recreational amenities, including a water park, ice rinks, theater, art studios, and public library. With so much to offer, many families make this location an all-day event. As you start your journey here at the YMCA, we hope you get a chance to visit some of these exciting locations and experience the unique areas of each facility. With a greater knowledge of what the Y has to offer, we hope you can now provide a greater insight into some of the activities Calgarians can benefit from. Welcome to your YMCA.
So thanks, Angela. So that's just a little bit about the YMCA around community impact, around where we are. Today I'm speaking to you from our Remington YMCA, working here for the day, and I can tell you it's pretty busy. A lot of kids in the pool and a lot of activity happening in the gym. So I want to touch on diversity, equity, and inclusion as well at the Y, and you'll see that the statement that we have on the screen here is actually from our 10-year strategic plan around really understanding, what we are to the community and how we reflect opportunities within the community. And so this opportunity to talk about Y and opportunities for employment at the Y and volunteering and the like is really important to us, that we provide opportunity and that we reflect the community in which we serve, and that becomes really important to us. But we believe people, we see their potential. We see the strengths in our differences and inspiration in our diversity. We are the nation you can count on, a place for everyone, a space to play, to challenge yourself, to build resilience, and to grow. The journey may start with a splash, a bounce, or a crunch under your boots, but if we do our part, it will lead to a healthier, more vibrant community. And really, YMCA exists so that everyone has the opportunity to belong. A little bit about our org structure. You've seen our buildings now in the video that we had. We kind of manage this place by function. And our general managers across the organization have accountabilities for certain functions. And this is how we divide the YMCA in a way, or separate the business org structure. We have general managers, who look after membership. So opportunity membership, that's front facing, customer, member facing. We have an Aquatics team. Child and family for us is a lot of the activities that happen with, you may have heard that we have a grade 6 program sponsored by the Calgary Flames, whereby the Flames essentially buy a membership for every student in Calgary who's in grade 6. And so they have a 1-year membership to the Y paid for. by the Calgary Flames, and we do Friday Flames night at each of our locations when we can, when it's COVID ready and friendly. We have an art department, which for the Y is new, getting into the arts field, not only drama, we have 2 state-of-the-art theaters, as you saw, but things like drawing and painting and kind of the visual arts as well. We have a day camp and climbing group. Day camp, a little bit about Camp River Edge. That's a big part of our day camps as well as at our locations. We have indoor climbing. We have a doors program. You'll see health and fitness, early years as childcare. These areas really how we really structure our overall business. Angela, I'm going to turn over to you now to talk a little bit specifically about some of our more, I'm going to say, popular areas for employment with the Y.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. So the video that we showed you did give a pretty good overview of our different branches and the different areas that we serve. And I'm just going to, as Brian said, talk about some of the more popular segments within our operations and kind of what it would look like if you were working in this area and what you can kind of expect. So I'm going to start with membership. It feels pretty natural to start with membership because these are the employees that you see front and center when you enter a YMCA building. So as the first point of contact for members and drop-in users, the membership services team, they provide services by responding to inquiries, giving program information, processing member signups, and just overall providing really excellent customer service. So roles that we would recruit for in membership services would be membership services representatives. That's what the title is called. And at the membership services desks, employees are really the first step in creating that really unique and exceptional experience for all people visiting a YMCA facility. Moving on to early years. Early years is really exciting because the YMCA actually is Canada's largest childcare provider. So at YMCA Calgary, early years really makes up our childcare centers, so our daycares or the Quarry Park Child Development Center that was showcased in the video, as well as child minding, which is just childcare that's provided to parents and guardians of children while they are doing a workout at the YMCA, and we have preschool. So some of the positions that you can expect to see in early years include child minding caregiver, child development aide, and preschool instructor. Now that's just a very short list as there are so many opportunities within early years. YMCA Calgary is a trusted and valued childcare provider, and that's really thanks to our early years employees. We follow what's called a play to learn curriculum and philosophy, where children are really encouraged to engage in creative play as they develop this ambition for lifelong learning. That's something that's really prevalent in all areas of the YMCA, so it's definitely embedded in how we do early years. And early years staff actually played a really important role of supporting, nurturing the physical, social, and mental development of children at YMCA. And that's part of our mission as well at the organization, is really focusing on that physical, social, and mental development of all of the community members. I want to talk a bit about Aquatics. Aquatics is one of our largest departments in the organization, and they have in Aquatics, the staff have the really important job of maintaining the safety of members who are using the pools. Of course, health and safety is like the topmost concern, but we also want to make sure that the participants are having fun. And so this includes lifeguarding for recreational swim and lane swim. And at Brookfield and Shane Homes, we have the wave pool, the water slides, and the flow rider, and we have diving tanks as well. So lifeguards will not only manage or monitor the safety of participants in all those areas, but they also monitor pool capacity and enforce the safety rules while on the pool deck. But when they're not lifeguarding, you may see them delivering swimming lessons or other aquatic fitness classes. So some of the roles that you could see at the YMCA in the aquatics department would be lifeguard and swim instructor, or just swim instructor, or water slide attendant. Health and fitness. This is a really exciting one. I did hear that some people who might be present today are really interested in health and fitness. So I do want to touch a bit on that. Some positions that you might see in our health and fitness department are strength and conditioning instructor and personal trainer. So in health and fitness, employees have a passion for supporting the well-being of others through these strength and conditioning classes, through wellness coaching, and through personal training. It's a really unique and diverse interest, I guess, of what the staff would have. So we recruit, as I had mentioned, strength and conditioning instructors and personal trainers. And the employees in this team provide support on the strength and conditioning floor or our weight floors by educating members on the equipment, supervising the volunteers, and recognizing and addressing member needs. And so that's really delivering that personalized experience for everybody who's on the weight floor and just helping them achieve their goals. And so in addition to supporting members on the weight floor, you'll see them also providing instruction to group fitness classes and registered programs such as spin and cycle, yoga, we have boot camp, and we have full body strength as well. And community YMCA. So community YMCA is really unique when compared to the other departments in the organization because it doesn't operate solely in YMCA facilities. We also have community programs that are running in over 60 sites across Calgary that cater to different youth in high schools, in junior high schools, as well as newcomer youth. So we have 4 main areas that are in our community YMCA. So that's LINK, Indigenous Programs, Youth Engagement, and YMAP. LINK stands for Language Instruction for Newcomers to Canada. So this is where individuals who are new to Canada are placed in a classroom setting where they learn how to read, write, and converse in English. We have Indigenous programs that serve Indigenous youth, children, and families with a focus on leadership, cultural identity, recreation and wellness, and connection to community. And that's really important to a lot of the Indigenous youth that we serve. We'll see them in our facilities, at schools, and also at Camp River Edge. Youth engagement. So this is where YMCA staff will work with students to help develop and support the youth through tutoring and other programs such as the alternate suspension program, where youth workers will work with students who have been placed on suspension and helping them really get back engaged in school, completing their coursework, and really finding ways to positively make improvements and just better decisions in their life and get them more engaged. And then we have YMAP, which stands for the YMCA Achievement Program. And this is where Y staff will work with youth in high school as well as post-secondary students who are new to Canada, delivering a curriculum on topics such as self-esteem, community connection, navigating the city, and developing professionally. So recently we had a group of mentors who are volunteers who did mock interviews with the YMAP students to help them get prepared for entering the workforce. And we saw that that had a really positive impact on the YMAP participants. So that was really awesome to see. Basically, the main purpose of Community YMCA is to engage and empower individuals and groups through education, community, and resources who may otherwise face barriers to entry or access. That's the biggest goal of YMCA, is just creating that equal access for everybody. I want to talk a little bit about workplace accommodations and what you could expect to see and experience if you were an employee at YMCA Calgary. So at YMCA, we really want all of our employees to feel safe, supported, and welcome. We really strive to create a working environment that is inclusive and empowering, and we proudly provide our employees with accommodations that they need to be supported so that you can just focus on bringing your best self to work. So on the screen here, you'll see some of the features that make YMCA Calgary a great place to work. This is not at all an extensive list. This is just some of the accommodations that we already do or would be willing to provide any staff. So that includes having open and accessible workplaces. So if anybody is in a wheelchair or if they have any mobility issues, they don't have to worry about getting around because our spaces are open and accessible. That includes having elevators and ramps as well. We have ergonomically sound or specialized equipment and furniture if anybody needed it. We could do modified work duties or reorganization of a job. We would allow permission to use aids or service animals, and we could provide flexible work schedules. So as I mentioned, this is by far not an exhaustive list. There's more accommodations that we could work with employees on providing, but this is just a good overview of what we are willing to apply and could readily apply to any employees who need accommodations. For current positions, you'll see on the screen that we have quite the diverse listings right now. So we are recruiting currently for strength and conditioning instructors and personal trainers. These would be a part-time position, as well as part-time duty managers who kind of oversee the, responding to codes and first aid or dealing with customer service. Our Indigenous team is recruiting for a Indigenous youth coordinator. That's a full-time position. We're also recruiting for a building systems technician, if anybody here is into engineering at all, as well as IT help desk analyst, that's full-time as well. Community YMCA is also recruiting for a lead tutor, if anybody here is a math genius and could be interested in applying part-time for that. We're also recruiting for a relationship manager. This would be a full-time contract position working with our volunteers. And then our sports department is looking for basketball referees and skate instructors and arena attendants. So that's just some of the list. I know we have a few more postings in aquatics as well for lifeguards, but we have lots of opportunities right now if anybody is interested in applying. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process. So on the screen here, you'll see I broke it down into steps. So first and foremost, if you're interested in applying or working for the YMCA Calgary, all of our opportunities are going to be on our website at ymcacalgary.org. At the top of the screen, you'll see a little button for careers and volunteers that I highlighted in blue. And that's what you would click to find our career opportunities. And if you scrolled about halfway down the page, you would see a big red banner that said career opportunities. And once you click that, you'll be taken to a page that has all of the current listings and all of the current job postings. So this is what it would look like. Now, this is a little bit old. I did take this screenshot a couple weeks ago, so the positions have changed a bit, but this is what the page with all of our listings would look like. You'll see we have a tab for details and a tab for apply. Details will pull up the job posting, so it would show you what the job kind of looks like, what the duties and responsibilities are, what qualifications we're looking for. And apply is, of course, the button that you would click to directly apply. In order to apply, you need to have an Avanti profile. So if you don't have a profile yet, you have the opportunity to register, which is what I highlighted here in yellow. You would just register and create your account if you don't have one already. It's pretty easy. I think it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to create that account. And then this is what it would look like when you're applying. So everything is done online. You would just fill out all of the fields here and scroll down the page, and it just prompts you to fill out everything. At the very bottom, once you've done that, it'll have a button for submit application. And it's as easy as that. You'll see on the left-hand side, we have a section for your availability. That's for, when you're available, how early you can start. We have a section for your resume, and we have a section for other information where you can attach if you have a cover letter, or if you have a CPR certification, or if you have a personal training certification, you can include that as well, just so that the hiring manager gets a full scope of everything that you have to offer before the interview. Now, we also take volunteers. So if there's a position that you want, but we're not recruiting for it yet, a really good way to get your foot in the door at the YMCA is to volunteer. So we recruit volunteers to be fitness instructors, sport coaches, membership volunteers. We have volunteers in aquatics and on the weight floor, and like admin, basically anything you can think of. We probably have a volunteer role for it. And it's a good way to get your foot in the door. And there's actually, when you volunteer, you have that opportunity to build those relationships and people can kind of see your work ethic. So it's a good way to build those references as well, for in the future, if any jobs were to pop up that you were interested in, you'd already have that, exposure to the Y and people would already know you. So it is a good way to get your foot in the door. I know many current employees actually started with the company as a volunteer. So yeah. Brian, if you want to take over.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Angela. I think that's just a really great overview of the Y's opportunities and where we really recruit. I would say, if you were to go to our website today, we have over 20 jobs posted, coming through reopening and through our latest closure. We're looking for folks, and part of this presentation is, we want to make sure that we are getting the best candidates from everywhere in the city to come and work at the YMCA. And I think what we're trying to do is ensure that people know about what opportunities lie there. Angela touched on flexibility and flexible schedules, and I think if we've learned anything over the last 18 months is really the need to be flexible. And so that comes in the way of accommodation, as Angela talked about, also in work schedules and work weeks, and really trying to ensure that our employees or prospective employees have as much flexibility certainly as possible. The last thing I would say is, you'll see this on the screen. If you haven't been to a YMCA recently, you've seen the video, but feel free to come and test us out as a mystery shop, if you will, or as a prospective member, prospective employee, prospective volunteer. If you'll see my email address on there, and if you were just to send me an email with the subject line of mentorship, along with your home address or work address or whatever address you'd like to go to, I'd be happy to send you 3 day passes that you can take with the YMCA. You will need to bring ID with you, I should say that. But you bring the pass and your ID, and we'll provide you with 3 day passes if you'd like to come and test us out. And so with that, that's a little bit about the Y, the jobs that we recruit for, not only as employees and volunteers. And we are definitely looking to build, a very diverse workforce that reflect our communities. And I think we are certainly well on our way to do that. For the last 2 years, we have been recognized as a top 70 employer in Alberta. And I think that's come through a lot of the hard work of our employees, really pushing for the culture that they want. And I think on the management teams for listening and really enacting that. So again, feel free to come and test us out if you haven't. So with that, Cal, I'm happy, and Angela and I are happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
Sure. Does anyone have a question?
I do.
Okay, Kristen.
It's Kristen Hefferly. I was wondering if you do volunteering for cleaning.
Oh, hi, Kristen. Thanks very much for the question. Yeah, absolutely, we do. Certainly on our weight floor, we have lots of volunteers, probably close to about 100, maybe a bit more, who come and volunteer for us in the weight room, helping us keep equipment clean and safe, particularly through COVID. But we absolutely do. All of our locations do. One of the things we should point out too with people that do volunteer at the Y, we generally are looking for 2 hours a week as a minimum. And with that, all of our volunteers after 3 months get a free membership at the Y too. So a bit of an incentive to volunteer with us. Also a way for us to say thank you to volunteers who come in and, they really are the backbone to the Y and really important. But absolutely, we have opportunities at every location for cleaning.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Any other questions?
Brian, I have a question.
Yeah, hi, Tony.
Hi, how are you? I work with the University of Calgary and St. Mary's University with a lot of adults with developmental disabilities. It's a special program called IPSI. Some are attending university and some have graduated from the university, and they go out looking for, of course, some with the volunteer are usually those who are students, but surpassing that and getting on into the graduation aspect, sometimes look for part-time work in that field. I've got a couple right now that swim quite competitively and ski quite competitively. I have a couple that for basically Special Olympics weightlifters with gold medals and silver medals. So they've got, and I've got another guy that's studying right now to be a fitness instructor. But a lot of the time when they did reach out or maybe did make an application, were sort of maybe overlooked or never got the opportunity even to say hello to anybody because there is so many people applying. So I'm just sort of thinking is how do I, basically as an employment specialist working for the organization, sort of say, hey, here's a good candidate that I may have, here's his resume, here's his whatever, and then leave it up to the rest of you. But at least rather than maybe going online and applying, he still has to go through the profile and put everything there. I realize that. But at least to have him get maybe a little bit of that, at least interview or that one-on-one where you guys can ask questions and do things, because I find sometimes that's where they really shine. They just, you ask them, say, okay, what do why do you want to be here? Hey, you know what? I've been doing sports. I got a young guy here, the same guy that's doing the fitness program, just told me here, after 9 years, he just ended up getting his black belt in Taekwondo. After 10, 11 years. So I mean, for him, it's a great accomplishment because he said, I've been doing it for this long, but I finally got my black belt. So I mean, they've got the abilities to do things, but sometimes they just never get, to look. So I mean, yes, I will go back and I'll make sure that all of them who want to will fill out the profiles and do apply. But I may have to just reach out and say, hey, here's 2 or 3, stars that shine. Hey, maybe give them a call back and maybe just chat with them about some of the positions, what it's all about. Because I think that would go probably further with them.
Yeah, I listen. I think that's a great point. We'll put maybe my email address back up, Tony, before we go, so you have it. But we should connect on that, and I think that's really important to us. We were working with a couple of organizations on that very type of process who were providing us candidates, who had disabilities and were having a tough time getting in front of people. And we're always open to that, right? We're looking for the best candidates for all of our roles. And sometimes we got to make accommodations to make sure that people are getting opportunities. So, we recently had a lady who joined us as a volunteer who had a disability and was only able to work 2 hours a day. That's really all she could do. And we found a role for her within our organization where she came and, we didn't have greeters, quite honestly, but we employed her as a greeter for 4 hours a week because that's what her schedule would allow. But it also allowed her to build a resume. She took that experience at the Y and was able to then take it to another job, which, was a win for us. Yeah. That never would have came our way had we not had people like you and others that are actively looking to get your candidates in front of people. And so when you talk about aquatics, for example, we're looking for people in pools, right? That are, if you have folks that are interested in some of our aquatics jobs, I would love to talk to them. You have people that are passionate about fitness and are we would love to talk to people like that that can come in and help us. So by all means, please reach out because we'll absolutely help you get these folks in front of our people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Is there anything in particular, like just the conversation you guys were just having, with people are applying online, is there anything that you could see that they should maybe do, like job seekers could do as far as how do they make their resume stand out, or become more noticeable and stuff as well?
Yeah, I've got a whole presentation on that, Cal. That could be another hour. On things you should and should have not there. I'd say kind of more of immediate advice is, if there are roles that you see that you're interested in, that your folks are interested in, or you're interested in, I suppose, is to not only apply, but to stop by the Y and say hi to the general managers and managers so they can put a face to a name. I mean, like a membership job for us, like if we're hiring a membership person, we'll get over 200 resumes, easy, drop that, right? Aquatics less so, but early years, quite a few as well, but like membership will get hundreds. And so I think the best is not only the application, but getting some face time. Angela touched on volunteering as well, and I know it's different than employment, but in a way it's the same. Angela's peer, I suppose, and a lady that works for me is a senior HR advisor. She was a New Canadian, started at the Y as a volunteer, doing filing basically, and we took her out of that and hired her as an HR advisor. She's been promoted since. Because we knew her, right? And we knew what she was about and how she worked and how she fit in with the team. And when Angela talked a bit about a lot of people come in volunteer to employment, it happens quite a bit at the Y. We've got 900 volunteers presently, and a lot of people will graduate that way for sure.
There's I was thinking of stuff too. Some of your larger facilities and stuff. There's so much more than kind of meets the eye. Or people think about the Y and stuff, they're thinking like, fitness and athletics and those type of things. But there's so many other positions that probably people could apply for or volunteer for. I mean, some of the facilities don't even have libraries or new, restaurants or.
Yeah, so we most of our locations do have Calgary Public Libraries within them: Shaughnessy, Seton, Shane Holmes in the north. But those are actually run by the library themselves, so we cohabitate with them. As well. Some of our facilities do have, we're working with the Leftover Foundation right now, actually on a co-op in Shaughnessy, but they would be run separately outside of the Y, but in conjunction with the Y, if you'd like. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Any other questions? Sorry about the little late start that we had.
And thanks, Tony, for sending me your email. I'll flip you a note too, so you have mine.
Yeah. Do you guys, if somebody does show up there with paper resume and stuff, are they simply redirected, or is there a process for that? Or
yeah, they would be redirected to our career site. That's how we do all intake, is virtual.
Okay.
But that doesn't preclude candidates from stopping into the Y to meet the aquatics manager, right? That I've applied online to your slide attendant, lifeguard role, whatever the job is.
Yeah.
Again, particularly in membership, where we get hundreds, literally, of resumes. It's a great way for them to put a face to a name.
Oh, that's perfect. So Cheryl, Kristen, Sharon, anybody else have any other questions, thoughts?
I do have a quick question. Thank you, Brian, for the info session. I have to say I really enjoyed the YMCA because it has multiple locations. But right now I'm in Edmonton, so my son goes to the YMCA daycare near our home. I really like the teachers there, and it's also located in a bilingual school, which we want to send my son later. So I'm looking into more like volunteer opportunities for the Edmonton region. I wonder if you could later maybe send me an email. And I did send a LinkedIn connection with you, so we can chat about that later. Thank you very much.
And I'll accept that. Thanks. I'll get a chance to log in and do that. But we've got a very strong relationship with the YMCA in Edmonton, And I know they are the biggest childcare provider in the city, and have as equally strong a need for volunteers as we do. So Cheryl, absolutely, I can even give you a contact if you need it, but I'll read your note. So thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Okay. So if nobody else has any other questions, we can probably call it a day there. But what I'll probably do with Brian and Angela and stuff, if you could stay on afterwards,
Sure.
I just have another couple of questions for you and stuff as well. So, but thank you very much. That was such a detailed presentation that it gave us a lot of food for thought, a lot of detail on the hiring process, to opportunities that are out there, and it's kind of unique and stuff, and walking us through stuff on how to actually go through the application process online, like where to click and what information to fill out, those type of things I think was really beneficial for some individuals and stuff, and we can take that back to our organizations and actually pass it on to the people that we support as well. So great. So
appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, and stuff, I'll get you to stay online for a second or two.
Yep, will do. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you later. Thanks very much, guys.
Yeah, good. I hope that hit the mark, Cal. So.
Oh man, that was so detailed stuff. That was probably one of the better ones that we've seen. So.
It was all Angela. I did nothing.
You offered very valuable feedback.
Sure, okay.
There you go. Hey, one of the things that we wanted to do near the end here is just to kind of get some quotes or some questions answered and stuff that we may be able to take forward and stuff as well later. So one of the other questions we had is, what does inclusion in the workplace mean in your industry? Another one was, what changes or benefits have you experienced in your workplace due to good inclusion practices? And then is mentorship a common practice in your workplace? And you had already mentioned that you do some mentorship stuff already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So those are probably the three that we can maybe focus on just for a couple of minutes here if you have time.
Sure. Yep.
So the first one again was, what does inclusion in the workplace mean in your industry?
Yeah, I think for us at the Y, inclusion is really about removing barriers for people so that they can actually bring their whole self to work. You know, it's about making people feel comfortable. I think for the YMCA, you know, when we talk about our values, belong, grow, thrive, and lead, the big one for me is belong. Like, which really struck me, Cal, when I joined this place 3 years ago, having been in the profit world for 29 years, is, you know, not only do people talk about values, but they live them, right? It's not just a piece of paper on the wall. And the strongest one for me was belong. Like if you just, you know, for me, and it sounds like a commercial and it's not, but when I walk around the place, and whether you're on a weight room, you're in the change room, you're in the pool, like the diversity, and people just feel like they belong here, right? It's not about how much do you earn. We never turn anybody away. It's not about, in fact, you would say people like me, we're not, you know, it's not the elite athletes that are here. Yeah. It's people that can be themselves and feel like they belong. So it's creating that real atmosphere around, and culture, I'd say, about belonging. And you know, you hear it all the time, particularly for females, about being, you know, incredibly intimidated to go to gyms, right? Like we have, specifically in the Northeast, we have days dedicated to our female members who can come in, and it's just for female members. And to really see how that really makes a difference, right? Particularly culturally for them, where it's, you know, much different, and it creates a real sense of belonging and just helps physical fitness. So that's kind of what it means to me.
Great. Do you have anything to add, Angela? Or?
Yeah, so just as an employee for the Y, I can see that inclusion is really prevalent just in, as Brian had mentioned, like bringing your best self to work. And I think it's really demonstrated in the fact that we're a people first organization. We put our people first and we treat them like real people. For me, I live with a invisible disability. So one that most people aren't going to recognize if they, see me, but I always feel very supported in everything that I'm doing at the Y. And anytime that I would need help with something, I know that there's somebody there who I can ask, like in any department. Everybody is just really welcoming and kind. And I think that plays a really big role in feeling included and in spreading that feeling of inclusion in everything that we do at the Y.
That's great. Second question and third question are almost kind of go along with what you guys have already said, but what changes or benefits have you experienced in your workplace due to good inclusion practices?
I would say it really has expanded if I think about it just from an employment standpoint, it's really expanded our candidate list. And, from an HR perspective, the sense of providing, opportunities through volunteering has really been great for us in terms of not only providing people with experience, they take and they go to other jobs or whatever. For some, it's about giving back to the community, and for others, it's about getting a job at the Y after. But I think this whole culture that we just talked about has actually helped us increase our candidate list to the point where, we're getting folks from various cultures with, different abilities to really ensure that we get the best candidates. And I think it's really helped us. I think it's helped us be recognized as a top employer, and I think it's played out in terms of people wanting to work here.
Yeah, you bet.
And just if I build on that a little bit, it's helped me in my career development as well, just in being a better HR advisor, working with a diverse group of people and learning how we can best support them, how we can help them be the best that they can be at work. It's really broadened my horizons that way as well.
Great. And then last question was, is mentorship a common practice in your industry?
I think the answer to that is yes. I mean, not quite mentorship, but really this is how Angela joined the Y. She was a student at SAIT. She needed to do a practicum. We reluctantly said yes, Cal. She spent 12 weeks with us, and we saw what a great employee she would be, and we had an opportunity come up, and it worked out just great. We're becoming, I'd say, more deliberate in our mentorship approach. We recently launched a Youth Leadership Institute. I won't get into all the details of that, but it is about developing future leaders, and with a partnership with MRU. Within that program is a very deliberate mentorship program that's defined with goals